New videos every day.
If you want to be a fiction writer, how would you go about developing a style or a voice in your writing? My name is George Weir, and that's what I'm going to talk with you about today. In your writing, I would suggest that to find your voice, that you read a lot. There's the old saying that a writer writes. Well, I would submit to you that a writer also reads. A writer reads a god-awful lot. A writer actually can't help but read because a writer is interested in the world around him. That's the only way he's going to be able to communicate what he sees. Also, I liken a writer to a sponge. A writer soaks up the universe around him, every little nuance, every little thing about it, how everything goes together, how it fits. And you should include that in your writing. Every little insight that you have, every little trick in the book, for a better word, you've got to pull it out and use it in your writing. So now, if you're going to read a lot, and you're writing, for instance, like what I write crime fiction. If you're going to read a lot, I don't necessarily suggest that you read in the genre that you're writing, because then the chances are you could become more of a copyist than an originator. And I think that what you're looking for is to be an originator. So in your writing, read, definitely. But don't necessarily read in that narrow genre. Cast your net far afield. I like to read a lot of science fiction. I read a little bit of everything. But I don't read a lot of crime fiction, and I find that I'm better for it. I think that you as a writer should not spend a lot of time thinking about what you're writing. You should just let it flow. Very often, I will get so immersed in my story that I will look up and notice that several hours have gone by, and it seemed like it was only 15 minutes. Now, I'm not saying that necessarily you're going to find that every time that that's going to happen with you. It may not. It may not for some time. You might find that writing takes a great deal of energy. For me, it doesn't. I will sit down and I'll write, and hours do pass, and they pass without me knowing it. Essentially, for me, it's like a hole has opened up in the computer screen. I use a computer. I don't use a typewriter. I don't think there are any typewriters anymore. A hole has opened up in the computer screen, and it's as if I'm viewing this other landscape, this other world, and I just report on what goes on in that world. And that's fiction writing. Even if you are writing nonfiction, to a degree, you've got to have that level of imagination. You have to be able to see with your mind's eye. You have to be able to see what you're writing to be able to report it. Otherwise, I don't know what you're doing. I don't think you're writing. But with regard to your flow as a writer, I said that you shouldn't think about it. You shouldn't look at it too hard. When you get to and this is going to be an arbitrary measure, but I would say about 250,000 words of actual writing, which would be, several good-sized books. You'll find that some voice has come out, that you have developed a distinctive style that's all your own, and it should be your own. It should be uniquely your own. But looking at that, don't be too critical of that. Instead, what you should do is foster that. Don't think about it too much. Don't think about your writing. Don't think about your characters too much. Let them live and breathe. If you have to spend a great deal of time punching through and trying to work out a particular passage or a particular chapter, you might be going in the wrong direction completely. If the story essentially isn't writing itself, then you'll have to spend a lot of energy. I don't know why it works that way. It just seems to. So I'd say that probably the last point I want to cover here today is about taking responsibility for what you write, for your creation. Is it something that others will appreciate? Is it something that's marketable? That's really a video for another time, but I want to touch upon that very briefly. Now, when you walk into a bookstore, or if you pick up your ebook reader and you turn the page and you begin reading, you know what's good, you know what you like to read. What you should do when you go back and read your own writing, you should read it the best you can from a completely exterior viewpoint, as if it's not you reading it. Now, I know that's going to sound like it's not easy to do. For some of you, it's going to sound darn near impossible. But I really strongly suggest that you do that. And the reason is that you can get very wrapped up in self-criticism. I think that you should look at it from the opposite viewpoint. You should look at what the strong points are and how those can be strengthened. And, you know, is this raw material you're working with, is it ore? Or is it actually kind of in a finished stage? Just where exactly is it? And look at it from that point of view. Then, if you need to polish it, by all means, go ahead and do so. Do it many times if you need to. I don't necessarily believe that, I've heard people say that, oh, well, you know, I have to, you know, do 15 drafts of this, or I've been over it 100 times. You know, that's great and all that, but really the measure of a good writer is, you know, how quickly you can get to the point where your writing is right the first time. Not just in the story itself, but in the details. Your spelling, very important. You know, where you place your commas, are you using semicolons? All that technical stuff like that, that will come, and definitely not at the sacrifice of that voice you're looking for. What I'm just saying is simply take responsibility for what you do. You'll be glad you did, and your readers will be very happy with you. In a future video, we're going to talk about getting your work published. What exactly is going to be required of you to be able to do that, and just what the standard is. In another video, we'll talk about self-publishing as opposed to going the traditional publishing route. Thank you for watching this video. I really hope you found it helpful. I invite all of you to visit my website, and please give this video a thumbs up, and please do subscribe.
If you liked this video, we have hundreds of more alternative videos ranging from sexual health to psychology to mind control. So if you liked it, go ahead and click on me to enter the Psychetruth channel.